Hi, this is Zak Mir with the US Chartbreakers here at Zak's Traders Cafe for Wednesday, the 29th of May. Starting off with the S&P, which remains within this consolidation. Basic support at old resistance around 52.64 and above that on an end-of-day close basis. Looking for that August resistance line projection, currently pointing as high as 54.80. We're looking for that by the end of next month. If we do break down below 52.64, then there's a risk of a move down to the floor of that rising channel from back in the fall at the 50-day moving average 51.75 and that uptrend line from back in October. Moving on to the Nasdaq, which continues to make progress despite the siren voices here. We've had basically hardly even a test of support of the old 18,400 resistance, and then heading higher towards the top of that rising trend channel from September. 19,600, the potential target by the end of next month. On the downside, the 18,400 area, old resistance becoming new support, is the most likely scenario, but worst case is that we have to retest the 50-day line, 18,000, and then we head up again. Moving on to the stocks, and we've got Airwinds first. We've got a rising trend channel base that's been in place since the end of January. Top of the channel there, heading for $13. We're looking at that while we remain above recent broken resistance around the $7 area, and obviously the 50-day line at $4.80. But ideally, those resistance points, intraday resistance points on the way down, should become new support ahead of that move towards $13 by the end of next month. Moving along to Arcturus, and here unfull gap to the upside after the shares pointing the other way before the gap, the rising 50-day line at $30, but probably the most interesting point here is that we should hopefully find support at old resistance on the way down around $35 above that, looking for the top of that rising trend channel from back in July as high as $47 by the end of next month. Next situation is one that hopefully will have decent momentum, and you can see Air Sculpt. The setup here, a falling wedge rebound and off oversold areas as well. Probably just waiting for an end-of-day close through $4.50, just as that was resistance on the way down, and also the old support point there back in February. If we can do that, then the next target would be $5.50 plus at the top of that wedge, and also fill the gap down that we had back in the beginning of this month. Another situation which we covered here before is GLC. We've got a rising trend channel that's been in place in September, massive gap to the upside, and the view here is the longer we stay above the old resistance 35.70, the greater the chance of move to $44 by the end of next month. Any dips towards that $35 zone regarded as buying opportunities. Strange situation coming up next in the form of BioSig, and the reason for that is that we've got this rising trend channel base. We spent a long time rising or trying to find a base above that 50-day line. Haven't been below it since back in beginning of last month, but ideally we stay above the floor of the channel and the 50-day moving average at $1.30 and head up to $3.50 by the end of next month at the top of that rising February trend channel. One of the most famous stocks around is GameStop, meme stock and everything else here. What you can see after the spike and retreat and then gap again, we've actually in the end just found support at old resistance from the turn of the year. That was now around the $80 mark, and that's what we've got now this week. And the view now is that while there's no end-of-day close back below yesterday's floor, around $21, we could fill the gap up there up to $27.60 over the next couple of weeks. And obviously the way the stock moves, maybe even over the next couple of sessions. Kirkland's is next, and here you can see that we've got progress within a falling wedge, in fact, and gapping up there and closing above the 50-day line at $2.10. Above that, looking for the top of the wedge at $2.70 by the end of next month. But I suppose really this share's in a range between 150 and 350 over the recent past. Next situation is interesting logistics properties, in the sense that we had our notional price channel top target there around $18.60, and above that we've actually got the potential of a fresh leg to the upside, upper parallel of that channel as high as $33.30, hopefully over the next week or two. Difficult to come up with a stop loss there, but probably half the range of yesterday around the $23 mark would be a fair place to consider. Moving on to nano nuclear, and here got the potential of a decent move to the upside, guessing that the top of the channel there is as high as $8.50, and we could see that by the end of next month, while we remain above recent neckline resistance at $4.50. It's above $4.50, looking for $8.50 plus on nano nuclear. Another stock with a power theme to it is NewScale Power Corporation. Here we've got a rising trend channel, top of the channel there, $13.20, and above the floor of the gap there at $7.80. That's where we're expecting the shares to go by the end of next month. Nice setup there with a big turnaround at the end of February. On to the last two. The first one is one we covered here quite a lot before, Orchestra Biomed, and here we had the trend line break there at the beginning of the month, and after a bit of jiggery-pokery, we're now above the recent resistance, around $5.50, above that, looking for the top of that triangle there from the turn of the year, or basically the end of last year, as high as $13.50 by the end of next month. But the key here is staying above that $5.60 zone. Finishing off with Semler Scientific, and here Bear Trap Island Reversal, one of our favorite setups, and above the 50-day line, 26.75, looking for not only that resistance line there from February, $33, but actually a return to former broken support at $43 by the end of next month. But the key here, holding above that 50-day line around the $26.60 level on an end of day close basis. That's it from me today. More updates tomorrow.